Live from your trusted local news source, KCRG News starts now.
Hello, and thank you for joining us here on streaming for the KCRG-TV9 News at 6. Good evening. My name is Becky Phelps. Of course, one of our top stories today is going to be the Cy-Hawk game. It was a very exciting game. Iowa State Cyclones took home the win 16-13 today. And of course, across the state, there were a lot of watch parties. So before we get to more details about the game, which Jack Lido will have later on in sports, we want to tell you about a very adorable, very sweet watch party that happened today in Dyersville. This was in celebration of 5-year-old James Hall. He's this week's University of Iowa Kid Captain. James has battled multiple brain tumors and received care at the University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital. The wave, is one of Hall's favorite traditions, and even though they weren't able to do the wave at University of Iowa, they wanted to make sure they participated in that still. So after the first quarter, they all got together and waved and took a video of that wave to send to the children back at the hospital. So they're going to share that later on and hopefully make this an annual tradition. They want to keep having watch parties like this for the Cy-Hawk game every year, which is a great tradition. Another thing going on today is called Bunks Across America. It's a nationwide event, nonprofit Sleep in Heavenly Peace. It has chapters all across the country, including in Iowa, and they were all of them together building a lot of beds today. Now, Lynn County has a chapter, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, and this is their only public build of the year. So anybody can come and volunteer and help build beds. This was one of 250 chapters nationwide with a goal of building 10,000 beds across the country, and these all go to kids in need who don't have a bed to sleep on. They give them to families for free. KCRG-TV9's Jackson Valenti was at the build in Lynn County today and gives us a look at their efforts.
They work with a simple phrase in mind. No kid sleeps on the floor in our town.
There's a real need out there that most people don't realize.
Mark Konzitz worked to build and deliver beds with Sleep in Heavenly Peace for 7 years. In any given year, the nonprofit's branch in Lynn County expects to give between 400 and 500 beds away to families for free.
Between 2 and 3% of the kids in any community are sleeping on the floor or without a bed of their own.
Saturday, the nonprofit built 50 beds, starting from a big pile of lumber to a fully fitted frame.
We're going.
50 beds seems like a task that could take forever, but with a team of volunteers like this, the process moved like an assembly line.
It's easy. I'm not the fastest, but anything I do is more than if I wasn't here.
This is Julie Neese's first time volunteering with Sleep in Heavenly Peace. She spent most of her time here sanding. She says working here is easy, especially considering where all the beds end up going.
It wasn't difficult at all. I mean, I don't mind sanding wood.
Over the course of an afternoon, Konzitz says a few dozen volunteers make a huge difference for young kids' development across the county.
It's been countless times where we've had our delivery volunteers come back and say, this child just wouldn't stop hugging me. And, or this boy just told me this is the first bed that they've ever had in their entire life.
In Marion, Jackson Valenti, KCRG-TV9 News.
Thank you, Jackson, and we will have more information on that nonprofit, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, on our website if you're interested in getting involved with them. And next we have a follow-up story. School year is underway for kids, and that can be a pretty stressful time. So our reporter, Emily Schrod, went out to do a follow-up story at Clear Creek Elementary out in Oxford. Last year, for the very first time, they introduced a therapy dog. His name is Sol. You can take a look at him. He's a 4-year-old Irish Red Setter, a certified assistance dog trained to work with people with disabilities and as a professional therapy dog. So we went back this year to see just what kind of impact Soli is having on those kids.
We've grown a lot in this last year at home and at school, and sometimes he knows what we need before I even realize it. So I hope that just continues to grow and blossom as his career goes on. He just provides that sense of calm. He's not judging them. He doesn't know what happened earlier, and it just gives them that chance to reset and then be ready for the next part of their day.
That's a pretty fun part of the day, and Sully is just too cute. What a great thing to have in schools. Coming up next, we will have meteorologist Corey Thompson with a check of your weather. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Corey?
Oh, it's like the doctor's office. And then you're going to call me in after Corey?
Mm-hmm. Oh. All right, welcome back. We are joined now by meteorologist Corey Thompson. We've had a pretty chilly weekend, dare I say.
I think that's fair to say.
Out for a walk, and for the first time in a very long time, I had like a sweatshirt on. I was chilly.
Yeah, I think that was probably the right move today, especially if you were out early. By the afternoon, a little bit better, but the winds picked up. So that kind of counteracted that, so it certainly kept that chilly feel going across the day. Did you like it?
Did I like it? I have mixed feelings about it. Because,
Right.
I don't know, once I get walking, that's kind of you want to take the sweatshirt
Yeah, you're
off,
getting
you
warmer,
get moving.
yeah.
But it is a little bit nice. I hate this part of the year where I have to have my entire wardrobe out. You know,
fair.
I have to have a t-shirt on under the sweatshirt because it will get warmer.
That's true.
And it's a lot to deal with.
Fair enough. Well, maybe we can get rid of some of those concerns about all the wardrobe at once, because we'll be headed to something where you'll probably need to get the summer clothes out instead.
Great.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We do have a look at our Solon City Cam, which features the sky cover that we've seen in many parts of eastern Iowa tonight. A little bit of mix of clouds and sun, but you see those flags on the left side of your screen? Yeah, a little windy too. Temperatures in the upper 50s to mid 60s. 65 in Solon. Dew points, though, keep those numbers in mind. They're hanging right around 40 degrees, and those will be pretty critical as we go later into the night. Now, a view of pinpoint Doppler radar shows while there are a lot of clouds around eastern Iowa, not much in the way of precipitation. A little bit more, though, to our north, and some showers about to cross the Iowa-Minnesota border. So if you live up toward Decorah, Prairie du Chien, those types of areas in our couple of tiers of counties right up near the top of the state, you may run into some of those issues in terms of a light shower moving through, but notice that they are losing a little bit of intensity, less yellow, more green, and just generally shrinking a little bit. So your first alert, next 24 hours, all green. Green is good, right?
Looks good to me.
Yes, so we will keep,
I don't mind that.
we will keep things pretty quiet over as we head through Sunday. But then things will begin to change.
And by change, you mean it's going to be hot again.
A little bit hotter. So
Great.
you seemed a little bit...
Bring the shorts back.
A little bit of trepidation there, potentially. We will have to bring the shorts back, for sure. Wind gusts tomorrow, not as strong as today. So that's already one step in the right direction of losing a little bit of that chill, because that was a bit of a factor late this morning in particular.
I think that's the thing that really surprised me the most was the chilly wind that was outside. Like, you look at the temperature and go, oh, it's 60s, you know, that's maybe even refreshing. And then you step outside and it's windy.
Yeah.
It's really cold.
It really hits you. Oh, and the exception will be tonight. We'll see those winds get much, much lower. And it's those lighter winds and those clear skies that we're anticipating that's really going to give us a chilly night. Look at the temperatures we're expecting. 38 degrees in Charles City, 39 in Cedar Rapids. That would be the first of the season so far, and certainly ahead of schedule. It's not typical that we see them quite this early. 41 though in Dubuque, so a little bit warmer, ever so slightly, a little bit farther northeast, but that's not a big change.
30s seems
very chilly.
crazy.
How-
I mean, 30s is like add another blanket to my bed.
How close do you think this is to records for this time of year?
Oh, good question. I'm going to guess records is maybe like 33.
It's actually much closer than you think. Cedar Rapids, their record for today, or for tomorrow rather, record low is 38, set in 1986.
Oh my
and
God.
the rest of eastern Iowa hanging around those upper 30s to near 40. So in most cases, it should be just out of reach, but Cedar Rapids is going to be close.
So forgive me if you said this, but what should it be like tonight? How far off are we?
Mid to upper 50s.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we are not particularly close. Same story for tomorrow's highs. Should still be in the upper 70s this time of year. Now, at least on average. Remember, we're not going to set a record for like the coldest day of this time of year, but 68 in Cedar Rapids and 66 in Decorah is still very much on the cool side of our expected range. So yeah, it feels good, and it's nice to have that taste of fall, but it's way ahead of schedule at this point.
No kidding.
Yeah, luckily.
It's quite the back and forth.
Big time. Luckily, it will be quiet. Those showers, you see them up toward northern Iowa, a little bit of that activity just barely hanging on. We're not expecting much trouble there, but as we look ahead into tonight, skies will be mostly clear. So once that isolated shower up north diminishes, we're left with clear skies to start your Sunday. Now it's going to be just like today. Lots of sunshine early, less sunny by the afternoon like we saw today, those pop-up clouds thanks to the ground warming pushes air upward. We don't have a ton of moisture, and the atmosphere is pretty stable right now, so they don't get very tall, but they're enough to give a little texture to the sky as we go through the day.
The sky on Friday night was the sunset on
really
Friday night was
good
gorgeous. I took pictures of it.
Oh, really?
I was really excited about it. It was so beautiful.
Okay, it was a good one. I can't argue with that. But as we go toward tomorrow night, a few more clouds moving from the west, but these actually are going to be part of an increase in warmth. That's on the edge of a warmer air mass, and you can see those red arrows on your screen representing what will be warmer air coming in from the south. Now, it will be a little bit breezy, kind of like today. Those winds out of the south will be pushing in those warmer temperatures, but it's all in service, again, of getting rid of this chilly air mass out of the upper Midwest, replacing with something initially pretty close to normal, but then actually quite a decent amount by several degrees above normal. And because we've been so used to chillier temperatures, in fact, over the last 2 weeks, we've had one day above normal based on this graph, a couple days hanging out right on that line, but more days that have been spent 5-10 degrees below normal. So we certainly have had that taste of fall, but we're going to get a taste of summer, and it's going to involve temperatures that will be very much on the warmer side. We're going from the upper 60s to the upper 70s as soon as the start of the work and school week. So we're not talking heat delays by any stretch.
Wouldn't that be something in September?
I mean, it's possible. Sorry, kids, though. It doesn't look like we're going to have it. It's late next week when, well, for instance, Friday Night Lights on Friday at 84 degrees for a high. That means upper 70s by night, but that's still the warmest game of the season so far. So yeah, you'll feel the difference for sure. Now, in between, a couple showers possible Tuesday and Wednesday. Doesn't look like a huge deal, but it's something to keep an eye on. We'll keep an eye on it for you. And of course, if things change, we'll let you know. But the change that we are focused on is that warmth.
That seems like a positive to me. We'll cling to it just a little bit longer before, fall really hits.
Yeah, in fact, TV9's Beth Malicki earlier this week during the TV9 News at 10, at the very tail end of the show, referred to it as Klingon summer, which was not referring to Star Trek. She didn't mean to make a Star Trek reference, but she confused everyone at the desk.
Everyone else at the desk took it as a Star Trek reference?
Well, we thought maybe.
Did she say it kind of fast?
Yeah, she said Klingon summer. Which,
that sounds like Star Trek.
Right?
Yeah, it does. It does. Sorry, Beth.
Yeah, but it was a good laugh.
We're going to trademark that.
People at Paramount
Two separate
might have
words.
this thing to say about
Klingon
it.
summer.
Yeah, I don't know. That's it. That's all I got for now.
All right. Thanks, Corey. We've got Jack Lido with sports next with everything on the Cyhawk game. Stay with us. Hello and welcome back. Jack joins us now. Corey's sticking around because you've got probably an opinion about our big headline of the day, the Cyhawk game.
Yeah, we're going to take a look.
Yeah, you might have a rooting interest, maybe.
Maybe.
16-13 is your final score. Iowa State takes down Iowa in the Cyhawk game on the back of Rocco Becht, Matt Campbell, and Kyle Conradi with, get this, a second straight 54-yard game-winning field goal. This one was with under 2 minutes to go. The one last year was with just seconds to go. Either way, this game it promises drama every year, and almost every year it delivers on it. So it's a pretty classic game from both coaches, a classic Kirk Ferentz game, and really a classic Matt Campbell game. Basically keeping it close in such a way, but to give it to Rocco Becht at the end of the game, Iowa State's quarterback delivers yet again.
I will admit I was a little nervous when I came in the studio and saw it was tied. I was a little worried for everyone in the room.
Everyone.
Yeah, I just feel like it kind of creates some tension.
You just want everyone to have a fun time.
I just want everyone to have a great time. It's not so bad.
Some people had a good time today.
Some people did. Some people did.
Why don't we take a look at the highlights? Kirk Ferentz at 205 wins coming into this game. If he were to win this game, that's 206. That would pass Woody Hayes for the most all-time big wins as a Big Ten coach. Obviously, he did not get that win, so he'll likely get number 206 against UMass. I know a lot of Iowa fans really wanted him to get this particular win at this particular stadium. It kind of played like a Kirk Ferentz game, a classic Kirk Ferentz game early. A lot of field goals, a lot of third down stops in each other's red zones. One of the bigger plays came here. Fumble could have been a lot worse. Mark Gronowski able to recover. But Corey, your general impressions in the early part of the game, it seemed pretty standard Kirk Ferency until this was probably the moment that got most people out of their seats. The fumbled punt that went off the backside of Zach Lutmer ended up going Iowa's way.
Yeah, big break for the Hawkeyes that needed it at that point because while Iowa State wasn't scoring touchdowns, they were scoring. And so it looked like early that it might get a little bit out of hand, and luckily Iowa got a shot at this field goal.
I think Iowa, they were really lucky. I can't use a better phrase, to be down only 10. When they were down 13-3, this was, if you're an Iowa fan, especially after an interception like this, if you're an Iowa fan, you're kind of taking a deep breath thinking, you know what, this isn't really that bad. And again, another big stop. This was not a big stop. This was a 2-yard completion to Benjamin Brander. But on those two other chances for Iowa State, they turned into 2 field goals. That's 2 4-point swings in the red zone. And here with this drive from Iowa, went 4 minutes and 16 seconds, kind of took Rocco Becht out of the game, slowed things down. I think that's where you give Iowa a lot of credit for slowing things down in the middle portion, late second, early third, and it kind of put a halt to the game until late in the fourth quarter where they put it in the hands of Rocco Becht, put it on the feet of Kyle Conradi, and Rocco getting the ball in a tie game in the fourth quarter. Honestly, that's all Iowa State fans want at this point. And with Conradi, man, I've been using another angle of it. I've been saying it for years. For this game, you almost always expect an Iowa kid to make the difference. Who would it be this year? It's the same Iowa kid as last year. Kyle Conradi, the pride of Dubuque Senior High School, making another 54-yard field goal. I can't, of all the things to imagine about this game, I'm not sure I would have imagined.
Corey looks so sad watching this
No,
back.
I'm just looking. I'm just watching. I'm just watching.
Iowa had a chance. Iowa had a chance to win or tie. Tomato and McDonough had 2 huge sacks along the right side. That play, I just watched the replay of this play we're seeing right now. Jack Doetzler is in at right tackle. He's typically your backup left tackle, Iowa fans. Jennings Dunker was out of the game for that play, the 3rd and 11 and the 4th down, and that was it. Iowa State walks away with the Cyhawk Trophy for the 2nd year in a row. First time in Ames since 2011, so these Iowa State fans finally get to celebrate on their home field.
Yeah, that stat is hard to believe, but also makes sense. And for some reason, it seems like the home teams have been pretty snake bit lately.
Rocco Becht finishing 18 of 27, 134 yards passing, and 1 touchdown. One of those deals where this guy Becht, he's in the Heisman Trophy conversation at this point, not because of high yardage totals or touchdown. Look it up on ESPN. Heisman Trophy. He's in the conversation.
I believe you.
Yeah, okay.
But
Conversation starts pretty early.
That's true. Well,
the conversation's
It's
also
college
very
football.
wide in the first couple of
There's
weeks.
a very wide net cast.
Yeah.
But it's not because of 300, 400 yards per yard performances. It's because of games like this where he gets the ball in a tie game or down by 3. He just has a way of keeping his head on his shoulders. I always go back to this quote because I know you love it.
Oh,
Mental
Lord.
toughness is my superpower. That's what Rocco told me after the game last year, after the UCF game, where he turned out to win the game.
And
on
for the
a
record,
drive.
it is a great quote. It just is also very funny.
Let's pump the brakes here a little bit, Jack. I think that Becht had a not great game statistically, at the very least. What you said, it didn't matter the total yards, but he got helped by his kicker. That kid nailed it again. Never
I feel like I've heard a lot about this guy over the last couple
He's
weeks.
good.
Like this may be the only name from the Iowa State team I'm going to remember.
Well, isn't it crazy that last year at this time, I don't want to say no one knew Kyle Conrady's name, but he was a freshman.
I didn't.
He learned it
who
quick.
had never kicked a significant field goal in his college career. He wasn't one of those kicking camp guys who was being recruited by Notre Dame and Alabama. He came to Iowa State to walk on. He was chasing Freudian slip. Chasing Chase Contreras, the starting kicker from 2 years ago, as a true freshman. Last year, he comes in as a redshirt freshman, makes the biggest kick of his life at Iowa, and then makes the other biggest kick of his life today.
But that's how you make that legend, is by making those kicks. And so as soon as last year, for Iowa State fans, that's all you ever needed. You could miss several more kicks that year, and it would have been fine.
It's a
That's all you need.
legendary moment if you can do it against Iowa.
And matched it.
Yeah. Why don't we throw it out to Colin Davies and Chelsea Brown? They have more highlights and reaction from Ames over at Jack Tri-Stadium.
The Cyhawk always seems to go down to the wire, and that was no different today, with a play or two separating these two teams, including third down, last drive of the game. Cedar Rapids Prairie alum Gabe Burkle catches a tip ball to keep what would be the game-winning drive alive.
Where does that rank among your favorites? I don't know, to be honest, but I think the one before that where he caught the tip ball ranks pretty high up on my list.
And then Dubuque seniors Kyle Conrady does it again. From what distance? 54 yards for the second year in a row. The decision to kick was the same conversation as when he kicked the 63-yarder last week.
He was like, this is his words again. It's pretty similar. Do you want to kick it? All right, F it, let's kick it. Literally the exact same.
And when you got that guy, man, you just believe in him. And I did. I said, man, do you feel really good about this? If you do, let's go for it, and I trust you.
That kick rewarded the fans who have been waiting a long time for a Cyhawk Trophy win here in Ames.
When there was no belief in Iowa State football, they gave you something to build on. And to be able to give them some special moments, and that was really important.
And now the Cyhawk Trophy is staying in Ames for the second straight year. Chelsea, how are the Hawks feeling after this one?
Yeah, disappointed was the common word used among the team, because this marks the Cyclones' first win against Iowa in Jack Trice Stadium since 2011.
Certainly hurts. It always has, always will. In the locker room, it's tough, certainly. And, it's not going to go away for a while here.
The only stat I care about is winning, to be honest with you. But, to their credit, they're a great offense. Rocco's a good quarterback. He's the engine of their offense.
Iowa quarterback Mark Gronowski finished the day completing 13 of 24 passes for 83 yards through the air. It is an improvement from week 1, but not where the Hawkeyes want it to be.
Offensively, we just got to continue to execute a little bit better. There's little miscommunications or maybe one guy not doing the right assignment, and we need to make sure we're having 11 guys doing the right thing and 11 guys executing every single play for us to be successful.
Just getting our feet under us. We got to find a way to start faster at the end of the day. Find a way to go out there and make a play.
Now, over the years, we've seen Iowa's defense come in clutch in these close games, and they stood their ground against the 16th-ranked Cyclones. ISU's only trip to the end zone came off Jeremiah Cooper's interception.
We played as hard as we could. We gave all the effort. It's just some little mistakes, some one or two things that we got to correct and get better. But, it's our job to get our team off the field and get the ball back to the offense.
Up next for the Hawkeyes, they will head back to Iowa City to host UMass, but probably after some self-reflecting, Colin.
In Iowa State, they'll be heading to Arkansas State. For Chelsea Brown, I'm Colin Davies, reporting in Ames for KCRG-TV9 Sports.
As Colin and Chelsea mentioned, thank you guys. A safe trip back home to Eastern Iowa. Iowa State with a game at Arkansas State, kind of a weird one. They're in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Arkansas State currently losing to the big guys from the University of Arkansas right now, but that's a tough game. That could, some would consider it a trap game. Iowa hosting UMass, I wouldn't consider that a trap game. Very likely Kirk Ferentz is going to get win number 206, and Iowa just, you heard it from Chelsea, they got to reflect, they got to regroup. This game kind of smelled of 2023, where early on, Iowa couldn't really establish a running game, couldn't really establish much of an offense, but they were able to lean on Iowa State. A couple big drives got them back in it. They leaned on their defense for some big stops on 3rd and goal, turning a 7-point touchdown, of course, into a 3-point field goal. The difference was this time Iowa State, the domino fell in their direction for just kind of a toss-up game and a big field goal from Kyle Cromartie. You know, special teams is always going to play a factor. I'll ask you, Corey, as a Hawkeye supporter, what are you kind of taking away from this game?
Not much. Just because I think that the rule and the truth is that this is just that the way Iowa is going to be. Like, this is Iowa football under Kirk Ferentz. This is the vision, is to play close games, generally, play strong defense, and they did for the most part. There were some exceptions. There was one big play, one big, truly breakaway play. Didn't result in... Did they score on that drive? I can't recall.
That was a
field goal, right? Yeah, so they did lock down.
Brett Eskelson.
Yep, locked down after that. So, that is good still in that book if you let that splash play go, that you still stop him for a field goal. So things went to plan, but the problem is that the plan does result in a lot of potential variance. So you're going to rely on the ball bouncing the one way, or that defensive back jumping the route and getting that interception. You know, it relies on very small breaking points to get a win. Now, whether you like that or not is whether you are still satisfied with Iowa football or not. And so it's up to fans to decide. I, at this point, am not throwing in the towel. But
I wouldn't expect
it's early.
But it's well,
early
no, they're still going to win several games this year. Like, the team isn't necessarily that bad. The offense, of course, is a big question mark, as it often has been.
83 yards passing, another 37 yards rushing. Jazz Patterson goes 11 rushes for 60 yards. Nothing eye-popping from a play-to-play perspective, as well as the statistics at the end of the game.
And you always come down to the defense did what they needed to do, and most even middle-of-the-road offenses, that's enough to hold a team to 16 points. They probably would have beat them. So it's tough, and I don't know. It doesn't look like it's going to change. It hasn't changed. There's only been, over the course of 26 years of Kirk Ferentz football, which has been very, obviously we're talking about him being the winningest Big Ten coach ever, has been very fruitful. But you just got to be okay with stuff going like this, because it can.
They play a bit of on a razor's edge, where if one thing goes wrong, like Caden Weechin slipping basically on the turf, and that leading to an interception from Jeremiah Cooper, goes the other way. And then if you have a great year like in 2023, you have a couple great punts, a couple great interceptions, you have a playmaker like Cooper DeJean, those losses turn into wins. You go 10-2, you have 9 or 10 wins. Just turning quickly to wrap things up on Iowa State. I know all these Iowa State fans are partying. I don't know if anyone's watching us now. They're out there partying.
Probably true.
As they should.
Yeah, exactly.
Iowa State's they've got everything in front of them. I mean, you have the big win against Kansas State. That counts in your Big 12 standings. And then you get the win over Iowa. That doesn't count for any sort of conference standings, but that could come into play later on this season when we're talking college football playoff. If Iowa State, say, they get to the Big 12 championship game and they lose, maybe they have one loss in the regular season and then a second loss in the Big 12 championship, they can point to this game and say, look, we beat a good Big 10 opponent in Iowa. I know we are a long way away from that, but Iowa State has proven they've taken the benefit of the doubt. They've taken the benefit of doubt, not just locally, but across the college football world. People know Rocco Becht is good when you give him the ball in a tie game or down by 3 or down by 7. It doesn't matter what the stat sheet is.
Now, we want to put on the record that you did not believe in the Cyclones ahead of this game.
I don't know if I didn't believe in them, but we hold ourselves accountable here at KCRG, and there is a screenshot from on Iowa Live last
Outnumbered.
Monday. I am outnumbered. Well, obviously Kyle Knock, the guy in the middle, the former Cyclone, current Prairie head coach, he picked Iowa State. Colin, Chelsea, and Doc all picked Iowa State. I picked Iowa, and there's no real defending it other than the fact that I think that
there was no defending it. It was a terrible choice.
Game. It wasn't exactly a blowout.
Not at all.
But we hold ourselves accountable here. I thought Iowa just didn't show that much against Albany. I thought they were going to show more against Iowa State. I thought Mark Gronowski was going to settle in. I thought the razor's edge of Iowa State, they've won so many close games. Eventually, it's got to go the other way. And maybe I did believe in the voodoo a little bit. It hasn't been since 2011.
Yeah.
Maybe the curse of Steele Jance after winning that game in 2011.
Steele Jance.
It's been a long time.
Let's remember some quarterbers from Iowa State.
Let's
a good
say
one.
some names.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got. Cyclone fans are happy. Iowa fans, it's mostly the same things that you got to fix, which is offense. You can't be living on the razor's edge and providing the other team the opportunity to drive down and win the game.
Well, and I think a lot of the Iowa fans over the years have always said, like, why don't we keep our foot on the gas and score a bunch of points? It's just the team isn't built to do that.
I mean, that's a great question for all teams.
But they're just not built to do that. That's not their ethos. It's not what they're trying to do. And so it's just, in rare exceptions, there are a couple teams over the past 26 years that could do it, but it's just not the construction of the team. You got to be used to games like this, and when it goes right, it feels great. But
I know of one team that they'd love to score another, 11 points against their rivals from the SEC. Are you somewhat familiar with?
Yeah.
Right, end of the show.
A slightly sad Jayhawk alum in the house. But it was a good game. And for the record,
Another first time since 2011.
Not a bad showing for KU football, for what KU football has been.
Did Missouri end up storming the field? I don't think so.
Oh, I have no idea.
No, I don't.
That game ended about right when we started here. So I don't know. I'm sure they were thrilled.
They probably were thrilled, but against Kansas,
I'm sure. We'll just wait for basketball season.
It would be embarrassing.
You know.
Northwestern, your team, you're the only winner of the three of us.
Wow.
Well,
by a long
Talk about
shot.
keeping the foot on the gas.
42-7
over Western Illinois.
Who were the Leathernecks?
I believe they are not. They're not a high school team.
It's an FCS team, Western Illinois. Yeah.
Lovely Monmouth.
With a bit of an
not a
easier
high school
opponent
team.
Lovely.
Iowa,
which is the reason
State
that the Wildcats came out on top tonight.
Yeah.
Kansas.
You got to get the wins where you can get them. Doesn't matter where they are. This time it was in Evanston. Do you want to go to that Lakeside temporary stadium?
I have been, but I've never been for a game. I explored the stadium a little bit as it was being built, but I have not been there for a game.
I think it would be really cool.
Yeah,
they should keep it there.
Just for fun.
Yeah, they'd sell it out.
Temporary stadium right now?
Yeah.
They're building a whole fancy
new one. Do you know
one.
something about temporary stadiums?
We don't have a temporary stadium. We have a half-built stadium in Lawrence.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, it looks great. So a lot of optimism.
Yeah.
That's what we do in Lawrence, Kansas. We are optimistic. We think about the future.
Yeah.
We dream of better days.
Wow, nice.
Thank you. Well, I think that's all we've got for you here on our live stream. We will have the TV9 News at 10 after, of course, college football wraps up tonight. So you can join us there. Until then, have a great evening.